Hello and welcome to episode 325 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. We are here, the first premium live event of 2023, kicking off, wrapping up the first week of the new year is New Year's Revolution. We had the first Raw, the first Heat, the first SmackDown, the first Velocity, and now the first premium live event. The main event being Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, Rhea Ripley defending the Raw Women's Championship against Bianca Belair. We also have Drew McIntyre defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Ludwig Kaiser. We have Path of the Dragon, the Tag Team of the Year, defending the tag titles against Pete Dunne and Dudley Davis of the Regal Coalition in what could be the match of the night, to be honest. We have Angelo Dawkins making the first defense of his new Intercontinental Championship as he takes on both John Morrison and Mustafa Ali. We have the women's tag team titles on the line, Bayley and Dakota Kai of Damage Control against Liv for Battle, Liv Morgan and Hikaru Shida. We have Chad Gable versus Sheamus for a Royal Rumble spot. We have that trio's Luchador match, which is kicking off the show. Pistolero, Lince Dorado, and Gran Metalik of Death from Above against Legado de las Sombras, Andrade, Cruz del Toro, and Joaquin Wilde. And, of course, Dominic Mysterio, even not Rey, defending his Cruiserweight title against Wes Lee. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the first premium live event of 2023. I'll take that. We start on the kickoff, and the fact that it's on the kickoff should probably have given away the result. Nova beats Lyra. This is mainly just a way to spotlight Lyra in a feud with somebody like bit higher on the totem pole than her, as a way to establish her more, like what they're doing with LA Knight and Bray Wyatt in real life, I guess. But yeah, she has come up short in the end. I don't think she'd really lose anything from losing to Nova, because Nova is one of our top gals after all, and she gets an 80 and Lyra gets a 55, and that actually bumps up the storyline. So way to go. They probably could have been even better than a 71, but it is Nova Nebula who comes out on top. Then open the show up with a video package, which gets a 79 and lowers the heat of every single storyline, so it's probably a bad idea to do that. Going over the big matches tonight, the three main ones I went over, the three title matches for the Raw Women's, Raw Tag Team, and World Heavyweight Championships. But we kick off with that 6-man tag team match. Death from Above versus Legado de la Sombra. Gets an 81. I will take that. There's a lot of moving parts here after all, and Gran Metalik was the one who scored the highest. Okay, King, whatever. And apparently, the storyline had low heat, so that's why I did so. Meh. But after Pistolero made his debut, defeating Andrade on Raw, and then I believe Metalik and Lince beat. Did they beat Joaquin and Cruz, or did Cruz and Joaquin beat them? It's been back and forth, is what I'm saying, but the winners here tonight, via shenanigans, are Legado de la Sombra. Probably the wrong call based on the overall ratings of people, but the story I had for Legado implies they need to cheat to win here, and they do. I'd probably have Andrade rip Lince's mask off or something, and then because when he's covering his face, he hits the hammerlock DDT to score the win for Legado de la Sombra. 77 for Lince, 92 for Gran Metalik, 89 for Pistolero, 75 for Cruz, 66 for Joaquin, and an 82 for Andrade. And yes, it is Legado de la Sombra who scored the cheap win here tonight. We then head backstage. Kathy Kelly's with Nova, and she says, Nova Nebula, if you see you just win on the kickoff show with Lyra Valkyria, that portion of you is over. You can put that feud to bed. You can leave that schism thing behind. What's next? And Nova goes, there was never any doubt that I would even if I lost, I would never have joined that schism. That's not for me, Kathy. But what is for me is what's coming up at the end of this month, the Royal Rumble. It's Royal Rumble season, Kathy Kelly, and this will be my first. And you know what they say, if they get your first. And I damn well sure will not, because my first will see me win and go on to WrestleMania, baby. Whoosh! So yeah, Nova announcing she won that match. What is next for Nova? Well, the obvious thing. She's in the Royal Rumble. I will take an 82 for this match. The Intercontinental Championship Triple Threat, Angelo Dawkins makes his first defense of the belt. He pins Mustafa Ali with a spine buster to debate defense number 1 of the IC title. You know, Morrison and Ali have been very friendly since Morrison won the belt from Ali, but I imagine they would probably butt heads a little bit during this match at some point when, you know, they break up a pin or something. Because I mean, they both want to be champion. But in the end, there can only be one champion. That champion is still Angelo Dawkins. He gets a 76, a 73 for Ali, and an 81 for John Morrison. Nice. We then cut backstage. The Regal Coalition, the entire group, the Raw side, that is, are training. And Dudley and PRC in their ring gear, getting ready for tonight. When we got Gunter and Ridge and Florence standing in the background, of course, this in their tracksuits or whatever they wear. And when we go like, well, that's it, boys. You got a main event, got a big title match coming up later on tonight. I want you to bring those belts home. And then Dudley and Pete leave, and I imagine Ridge and Florence follow them out. And then Regal's like, oh, I'm pulling for them, but I think they've got it. I think they've got it in the bag tonight. And then Gunter just stares at Regal, and he goes, tonight is the night, yes, Regal. And Regal goes, relax, big fella. I haven't forgot. Tonight is indeed the night that you make your mark once and for all. 79. Why was this mid? Because they've got low. The only negative was apparently the announcing quality. They've got low experience. Whatever. But I mean, 80 and 83. 79 is not an awful rating, but you know, I see it go up more than I see it go down. But it's fine. Gable and Chad and Sheamus for a Royal Rumble spot after their brief feud. Sheamus survived the 5-minute open challenge, and Gable obviously didn't take that lightly. They've got a full-on match here tonight, and the winner and the man advancing to the Royal Rumble is Chad Gable with a cradle on Sheamus out of nowhere. Probably got him up for going for a bro kick. He ducks underneath and rolls him up like that. Puts his feet on the ropes, and the master Chad Gable, the master strategist, is in the Royal Rumble, and he's going to concoct some great big brain strategy there. Thank you. Better than that, though, is Dominic Mysterio versus Wes Lee for the Cruiserweight Championship of the world. And in a match that goes 12 minutes and 37 seconds, obviously, it's Dominic's first defense of the belt. He's not going to drop it here. He does defeat Wes Lee in 12:37 via some Anthony Nese shenanigans to make defense number 1 of the Cruiserweight title. Wes Lee gets an 81 and a 68 for Dominic. But that win, obviously, while keeping him the Cruiserweight Championship, also keeps him the spot in the Rumble that was delegated to the Cruiserweight Champion. And Wes Lee could have taken that, but he lost. So Dominic goes on to keep his title reign and his spot in the Rumble. Should be a big month for the kid. We then go straight back into another match. It gets an 81. It is the Tag Team Championship match. Shida and Liv taking on Bayley and Dakota Kai for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And I must say that the bad thing about TEW, I mean, the good thing is that, like, that more often than not, if you push somebody, it will just work. But the bad thing is I can't manufacture, like, breakout moments, like, in real life. Like, if I was booking Swerve and Our Glory versus The Acclaimed on this game, like, that wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't have gone down that way. But I imagine this being the match where people realise, oh fuck, Liv and Shida are like a team. They have got like tag team moves and shit. And I imagine their finisher would be Liv would hit the Oblivion on somebody, but Shida would be down there with her knees or whatever, and they'd like flatliner right onto Shida's knee. See, I think about this stuff, you know? And they hit that finish on Dakota Kai. You know, 1, 2, but then Cora Jade pulls the referee out like a damn son of a bitch. Big boos. She gets ejected from ringside though, but while the referee's distracted with her, Bayley would clock Liv on the back of the head with the title, and then hit the Rose Plant, and then the air would get sucked out of the room as Damage Control retain the Tag Team Championships. 84 for Shida, 73 for Liv, 72 for Dakota, and 79 for Bayley. And yeah, we have still the Women's Tag Team Champions. Damage Control is Dakota Kai and Bayley. But these two showing out here tonight. I imagine this would be I've got it photoshopped, so I'll probably put it on the screen here, where Liv would debut the look where she'd match in the tag team. Like, she just got the black and red hair. Liv would have half of her hair be red, and she'd have Watch Me like makeup on her face, where Shida has the writing as well. This would be the night where they become an actual duo, but not enough to become the champions, unfortunately. Oh, I should stop doing these hype videos. This is killed. This match is now going to be mid because the heat for the feud got knocked in the opening segment and in here. But it is a recap. Drew McIntyre, Ludwig Kaiser for the World Heavyweight Championship. Big moment for Ludwig, the first pay-per-view of the year, and his first world title match. Gets an 82B. Of course it does. Probably would have been better, but again, I just murdered the heat of the feud. So, and apparently there's lack of psychology despite them both having like 79. But again, as I've said before, you probably need stopgaps if you're going to have the world champion go on a run. So there are going to be times where you know he's not dropping the belt to the challenger. I don't think anybody realistically thought Ludwig was winning this match. But it's a nice spot to have him in. He got an 83, so he didn't really disappoint at all, because he's only 3 points off Drew. But he does leave with 2 victories over Drew, one being a pinfall victory. But he does not leave with the World Heavyweight Championship, at least not officially. He could steal it again for all I know, but he probably won't. But Drew, he celebrates, he holds that World Championship up high. Out comes the Regal Coalition. Ahead of the Tag Team Championship match up next. The entire crew is here. Gunter's theme hits and he storms out. He's in the front. Regal just behind him, and the rest of the boys in Florence in the back. And Gunter gets in the ring. And he goes face to face with Drew McIntyre. Regal goes, "Congratulations, Mr. McIntyre. What a hard-fought victory, and what a great challenger Ludwig Kaiser really showed to be. But here you stand still, the World Heavyweight Champion. Honestly, that couldn't have gone any better for us. Because let's not make no bones about it, Drew McIntyre. You may be the most dominant man here on Raw. You may be the top guy here on Raw with that championship over your shoulder. But there is one man that you are scared to get back into the ring with. A man who in his very first match here on the WWE main roster pinned your shoulders to the mat. 1, 2, 3. A man who has not been pinned in almost a year. A man who, quite frankly, is next in line for the World Heavyweight Championship, Drew McIntyre. The Ring General, Gunther, challenges you to a World Heavyweight Championship Clash of the Titans at the Royal Rumble. And Drew doesn't say anything. He just stands there, doesn't nod his head like, right, alright, holds that belt up high, and his theme starts playing. And that's basically our confirmation, I guess, that the match is on. Drew McIntyre versus Gunther. Probably the biggest match on Raw right now we could do for the World Heavyweight Championship is taking place at the Royal Rumble. But then out come Path of the Dragon, the Tag Team of the Year, ahead of tonight's Raw Tag Team Championship match. Which, of course, Start As You Mean To Go On gets a 90. The Tag Team of the Year with another banger in their belts. 88 for Humberto, 86 for Tozawa, 83 for Dudley, and 93 for Pete Dunne. And in 20 minutes, 59 seconds, it is, of course, the boys, the lads, as we call them, when Tozawa pins Pete Dunne with a diving senton to make defense number 7 of the Raw Tag Team Championships. The Year of the Dragon. I don't think the Chinese Zodiac says that. I believe the Chinese Zodiac says it's the Year of the Rabbit. But I'm calling bullshit. I'm saying that 2023, whatever the Zodiac says. Yeah, it does. It says Chinese Zodiac 23 is the Year of the Rabbit. That is horseshit. It's the goddamn Year of the Dragon. Then get a quick backstage segment. Liv and Shida downtrodden after their loss. Kathy goes, girls, you came so close tonight. You really proved that you had what it takes to beat Bayley and Dakota for those titles. And Liv goes, yeah, I know, Kathy. I was there. I saw it. Now, we'd have had those damn titles won, but those little damage control girls, they've got their little friend. They've got Cora by their side, and she cost us that match. Girl, I ain't gonna let that slide. So how about you? Because you got that little championship, you can float to whatever show you want. You'd like to let us know that. Come over to my show tomorrow night. Watch me whip your ass, and I'll take your championship instead, hun. So I guess there we go. Liv Morgan versus Cora Jade for the Liberty title on Raw tomorrow night. But also, Raw's not the only show we've got coming up. We do have the Royal Rumble coming up. And what a match we just had announced. Here's our official confirmation that in 3 weeks' time, the World Heavyweight Championship will be on the line when Drew McIntyre defends the title against Gunther, the Ring General. After months and months of dominance, is it finally the night for the Ring General to call himself champion? We also learned that a new entrant into the men's Royal Rumble match tonight, Chad Gable, the master strategist, the Olympian himself, scoring that victory over Sheamus, earning him a spot in the Royal Rumble match, as well as Dominic Mysterio, of course, keeping his by way of defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Wes Lee. And also from the women's side, Nova Nebula, one of the top women here on Raw, after beating Lyra Valkyria on the Kickoff show, announces that she will be in that match too. But speaking of women, speaking of top women on Raw, the biggest match in the Raw Women's Division we can probably do right now. Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair main eventing the show. Raw Women's Championship on the line. Tables, ladders, and chairs. Their Clash match didn't do the best because they had I think it was Psychology that dinged them because I bet they went too long. So I'm risking it by putting them in the main event. That's why I did buy a special set and shit in case this match doesn't do well. But I can't explain why, but I feel like this one will do a little bit better. We shall see. 81. All of the matches on this show were good, but nothing great other than that tag title match. That's the match of the night, as I predicted. But yes, the TLC main event gets an 81. And they, from the get-go, they're wailing on each other. Bianca grabs a chair, starts wailing on Rhea. Rhea grabs a chair. There's tables involved, of course. Big spots. I imagine Bianca would set up a table on the outside, try and German suplex Rhea off the apron or some spot like that. But Rhea would hold on, knock Bianca off. And then another table would be stacked on top of that. So there's 2 tables. Rhea goes for a superplex off the top rope. But Bianca, of course, holds firm. The announce table would get destroyed. Bianca would powerbomb Rhea through that. But Rhea would, fight back. Bianca climbing up the ladder to pull the belt down. Rhea just launching a chair in her face. Spots like that. We're not taking it easy here. These 2 girls hate each other. They want to beat the fuck out of each other here tonight. And of course, Clash of the Castle was the Rhea won with the exposed turnbuckle. So we're going to bring that back. But Bianca will hold firm. Rhea instead getting tossed into the exposed turnbuckle. KOD onto a chair. But Bianca still can't quite get the energy to get to the top. Like, she's had her leg hurt through the match or whatever. And then Rhea Ripley gets back up. Starts pinning Bianca down with the chair. Hammering into her throat. And then gets a sick idea. Because I believe she tied her braid around the barricade once. That was the spot. But we just tie her to the bottom rope. Like, she lays Bianca out. Ties her braid around the bottom rope. And then Bianca can't move. She's stuck. She's like squirming, trying to break free, trying to get her braid out from the rope. As Rhea, I guess, takes her sweet time climbing up the ladder, knowing there's nothing that Bianca can do. She gets to the top and she reaches up and she grabs the championship, but she can't quite pull it down because Bianca, just still with her hair tied to the bottom rope, starts pushing the ladder backwards, and Rhea plummets to the outside through them 2 tables that we set up on the outside earlier on. But Bianca's still stuck. The ladder's in perfect position for somebody to climb it and win the match, but Bianca can't quite get up. She's trying her best to, untie her hair from the rope that Rhea's tied it on. When out rushes the goddamn queen. She brings the briefcase out and she heads over to ringside. She hands the case to the referee. We get the announcement Charlotte Flair is cashing in her Money in the Bank contract. Boos echo around the arena. Bianca's still trying her hardest to get out. She's mauled on by Jordan and Aaliyah and Skylar as she tries to do so. And then the queen, with all the time in the world, Rhea down, Bianca occupied, retrieves the Raw Women's Championship. And in the first Premium Live event of the new year, we have a new champion. In 1835. 89 for Bianca Belair, 87 for Rhea Ripley, and an 89 with limited involvement from the Queen. She has been inevitable since June, and that inevitability has come in the new year at the expense of Bianca Belair and at the expense of Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's still not moving since she was knocked off the ladder through those tables, but Bianca, of course, still, I guess, finally her hair is cut out. Like, I imagine they cut the bottom rope and then she can slide it out that way. But doesn't matter, her championship is gone. And it's not even because she couldn't win it and Rhea Ripley retained. There was a new champion tonight. It just wasn't Bianca Belair. 92. Again, because I bought the special set and all, but yeah, that was a pretty good show, actually. There was nothing below away, like, other than this tag match here. But, like, solid 81s and 82s. That's a show full of good matches. So that's fine. But what matters more than that is what you thought of the show. And that is the final Premium Live event before the Rumble. The next time I see you on pay-per-view will be the fucking Rumble, and I'm dreading the editing. But it's okay. I've bulk recorded these. I've got them in the can, so I can, like, spend more time planning that. But I'll see you next time for tomorrow night's Raw, the new era of Raw. Drew McIntyre and Gunther start their build to the Rumble. And we rein in the... I can't remember how many reigns he's got in my world. It's not 14, because I don't think he's ever won a belt in this entire saves until now. It might be 11, I don't know. 12, one of those numbers. Of the Queen. See you then.